Hey guys, Jnull0. Sitting here, this special hangout. We're going to do an announcement in a little while. I got my good buddy dafrogtoad with me.
Hello.
We are waiting on our other good buddy, Ben the Bondsman 1. He will hopefully get in here directly. We definitely don't want to do this without him because he is directly involved. He's having some issues with his Google Plus right now, though. But once we get him, he'll just jump in as soon as he can, and we'll go from there. You know, it was me and Toad were talking one day about the whole, I guess the doom and gloom side of you know, a lot of people's channels, and there's a lot of videos out there that are specifically meant to scare you and to make people make decisions that aren't going to necessarily be correct ones because they're making them out of fear rather than out of what they think they're going to really need if something was to happen. And we just didn't like, you know, the whole negative sound of SHTF and WROL, and it just sounds scary. It sounds scary and it sounds negative, and we were just kind of kicking those ideas around, and I was like, well, you know, it may be a WROL at some place in the country. You know, it may be for them an SHTF, but for me out here in the hills, we're just going to simply be on our own. There's not going to be riots in the street. Now, the Creek Road, who's going to riot? Carl, my neighbor, one guy, one man riot? That's not right. And so we were like, you know, and he kind of feels the same way. And we just took it to the next level. And I said, well, I think I'm going to stop using, you know, the term SHTF and stuff like that, and start replacing it with, you know, on our own. If we find ourselves in an on our own situation and stuff like that, you hear that through the videos here recently. I realize that some of my older videos from last year and whatnot will have the SHTF in it. It's because we hadn't discussed this whole idea yet. So, and the reason that I consider it to be on our own is because I have pretty much a homestead. So, and the things that I personally like to prepare for are things that I know for certain are going to happen every year without a question. I know for certain that this time every year we have storms. This is storm season, and several times throughout the course of the year we'll get thunderstorms and whatnot that'll come through and knock the power out, or this or that, and we're, you know, without power, so we have to deal with it every year. And at the same time, I know that every year there's a winter time, and winter time out here in the hills, sometimes you get pretty rough and the power goes out, and you just got to learn how to take care of yourself. So that's what I spend the majority of my, you know, the prepping is preparing for those two things. And then I also at the same time figure that anything else that happens in between those, if we're ready to be without power because of storms or because of winter, then we're also ready to be without power because of, you know, grid collapse or whatever else could cause a power outage. So that's just kind of how I look at things, and that's how I live that's my style of prepping, I guess, for lack of a better term. And Toad was telling me some things, because Toad doesn't live in the country in the hills. Toad is what would you call yourself, a dazzling suburbanite or an urbanite?
Yeah, I'm more of a suburbanite, middle class, maybe upper middle class kind of guy. You know, and part of that conversation that John and I had a lot to do with, you know, the prepper thing being hijacked, both commercially and you know, from the whole doomsday thing. And when he used that phrase, on our own, it actually hit me like a ton of bricks. And it was, for me, that said so much more, said the way I feel much more accurately than any of this other, you know, this garbage. You know, what prepper has become, SHTF, the Teotihuacan, all these other cute little pop culture names and categorizations that people are using, basically just to scare people and scare people into buying something. And it just, you know, the more we started talking about it, you know, the things I told him were, you know, prepping for me is really about taking control. It's about taking more and more control over, you know, my day-to-day stuff, not being dependent on everything from grocery stores to mechanics to, you know, tradesmen, all the kind of stuff that people are always out there, you know. And hey, look who just made it.
Yeah, Ben just popped in. Everybody, that's Ben the Bondsman 1. I guess once the Hangout thing is done and it becomes a video, I'll put links to their channels below in the description box. But for right now, it's dafrogtoad and Ben the Bondsman won.
Ribbit.
So,
hey, Ben, you might need a little bit more light there, big guy.
it's Ghost Ben.
Yeah. Oh, there he is.
Yeah. Hello, anyway. Welcome, Ben. Glad you made it, brother. Yeah, that's kind of how we got. We was kicking some ideas around, and then we was talking with Ben one day, and he kind of feels the same way about the whole kind of philosophy as far as the negative direction that a lot of things were going in, and trying to scare people. And so, Ben, why don't you go ahead and pick it up now that you're in here, and give us a little bit about why. I think he's muted.
Oh, we don't have one of those government interpreters. Or is he one of those where he's got to read sign language?
Unmute your mic, bro. Yeah, don't expect technological perfection from us because we're like,
whoa, there. Jesus Christ. Oh, anyway. Hello, everybody. I'm technologically frustrated right now because I'm having to figure this all out on my own.
there you go.
If you got any more light in that room, that might be a good idea there, Ben. You are very, very dark. Hey, that's better.
Oh, crap. Now we can see you.
Oh, it's mobile Ben. Oh, by the way, Ben is the part of the team.
Yeah, I had to switch cameras.
Yeah, Ben is the part of the team that lives in a small car under a bridge in New Orleans, so he has a special way of looking at things.
Well, go ahead, Ben. Tell us a little bit about what got you into a little more positive direction of thinking about things.
Well, when I first got into the whole getting into YouTube videos and getting into the whole prepping mentality, my head started spinning a lot. You watch people and everybody makes you think that if you don't do something today, the world's just going to come to an end. You're going to starve to death and die in the fetal position sucking your thumb. And that kind of got old for me. And it was meeting you guys and other people and talking to other people that kind of made me say, hey, calm down. It's not like that. But I've got a family. I've got a wife and 5 kids, and we decided it would be nice that if a hurricane came through or no matter what happened, if we couldn't run to Walmart and get what we needed, that we could produce the majority of the things that we already buy and use on our own. And that's what it's about for me.
Yeah, that's the reason why I'm getting into different animals, and I got my garden and all that kind of stuff, because the way I look at it is every penny that I can save without having to buy something from, especially a huge corporation or conglomerate, that it's a benefit. It's a win-win. But
it's a good learning process for us. We're really new at the whole, learning how to do things and make things out of other things. Really new at it.
Well, this is the whole reason, that we decided to have this hangout tonight and announce the fact that we're going to be releasing a website here immediately after this hangout. That's going to be called www.onourownlifestyle.org, and it's going to be exactly that. It's going to be information sharing. There'll be links to videos. There'll be all kinds of stuff. Hopefully we'll be able to put a forum in at some point, so that we can all go to an area and share ideas and kick around ideas and experiment to try to get everybody's perspective and to help everybody get better at what we're trying to do. Because when it boils down to it, SHTF or WRL, it doesn't really matter. You're still going to be on your own for some period of time, unless you move into straight to a community. Although there will be people that are going to be coming here, but still, our group is going to be on our own. We're going to have to deal with everything, as a group, as a community. There won't be any outside help, especially out here. I guarantee you, there won't be no FEMA trucks handing out ham sandwiches going up and down the creek. And that's why we decided we're going to get around and we're going to kick around this idea and see if we can't, make something happen and turn it into a thing, and and hopefully we'll get some support from our viewers, people who view our videos, and check out the website and give us ideas, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I think one of the big points of it is if you're looking for some way to get scared, don't come to the website. If you're looking for a place where you're going to have the latest and greatest of all the expensive gear that nobody gives a shit about, don't come to the website. But if you want to see basically a conglomeration of our videos in a real world situation, the stuff we use, the things we do, and you want to share how to become a little more self-sufficient, or as you'll see on the website, we preach independence instead of dependence. It's more ways to keep Ben's camera from falling off the car, and it's a real important difference. I think that's what we're looking for, is more ways where you can take even the smallest amount of control back from the pop culture driven ways that a lot of us have fallen into, and just have fun along the way. As John likes to put it, we don't want to just live through any up or down, whether it be a bad thing, just a temporary bad thing, a big bad thing, whatever. We want to thrive through them. I think John can touch on that some more.
Well, I want to, continue living. I noticed, like last summer when we had them storms that came through here, and everybody lost their minds because there wasn't any power. They couldn't swipe their cards to get things at the store, and they were literally fist fighting over bags of ice because it was about a bazillion degrees outside. And it was just, a bad situation in town. People were very much unprepared and suffering over it. And I felt bad. My heart went out to them because we came home and sat on the deck eating ice cream because we were ready for the power to go out. Nothing really changed for us. And it's a matter of, like you say, not just surviving when something happens. Surviving sucks, man. Survival is hard. Survival really blows. But living, I like living. Living's okay. I can deal with living. And if we can get ourselves set up to the point where we can just continue, instead of, scary SHTF situation, it's just kind of a mild inconvenience. That's what I shoot for. I don't want my kids to freak out every time the power goes out, because you know what? What's the big deal? We still got lights. We still got a fan running. We're going to work on our solar, try to build up our solar system a little bit more, add some things onto that. And it's not like you have to go out and spend, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars right off the bat. No, I don't have thousands of dollars. I have no income except for, what I manage to scrape here and there, which is okay. You can still take that, purchase one little piece here, a battery here, a piece of cable here, a solar panel here, and then when you have all your pieces together, then put it together and put it in action and use it every day. Don't just set it up to where, I'm just going to use this in case of an emergency. And no, that's like we talked about canning the other day. Why get a whole bunch of stuff and can it up to put it on the shelf and never eat it? No, rotate through it, use it.
Yeah, that's a special bugaboo with me. I have never understood why people go out and feel they need to spend tens, if not hundreds, if not thousands of dollars buying all kinds of equipment to stick in a freaking closet and never use it because it's sitting there waiting for the quote-unquote SHTF. Being able to blend in more things like that. I mean, if you like to camp, why can't your camping gear be part of stuff you may use in emergency? If you're going to can, why not put the stuff you can right into rotation with your SpaghettiOs, right?
I can answer that.
Of course you can, because you like SpaghettiOs.
Well, I was getting ready to ask Ben, he's fairly new to canning. I think the first time he canned was when he was at my house last August, I think. Is that the first time, Ben?
That was the very first time I'd even seen a canner in operation in person.
Well, tell us a little bit. Now that you can, and you guys can, I understand, on a pretty regular basis now?
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to answer Toad's question, was when you have people like me that know what should be done or what needs to be done, but we were raised in a society where going to the store and buying what you need, if your car breaks down, you take it to a mechanic. If your TV goes out, you call the TV repairman. You don't try to figure things out on your own. So you have a society of people in my age group that weren't raised working the land and working on your own things and canning your own food. You you guys are at the age where you were raised by people coming out of the Depression. You know, I was raised by people that their parents went through the Depression, so they didn't want their kids to suffer like they did. So we didn't learn any skill sets.
Yeah.
And I think that's the most important thing.
Hey, I'll go along with that, and but I want to try and make this point if I can. Help me out if I don't get it. Is that I'm not the kind of person that's going to say, you got to shut your doors and live like a hermit and eat grass and all this stuff. There's a balance point. A person in a condominium in a big city can take some steps to become more self-sufficient if they want to, just as much as, the 3 people you're looking at, well, the 2 people in the frog you're looking at here come from 3 very different backgrounds, different lifestyles, different ways of life, but yet we're all kind of trying to just develop even the smallest amount of what little more can we do on our own, what little more can we do for ourselves, just to take a little bit of that power back, just to be a little bit more independent. And you never know, it might actually turn out to be a big thing for you. But every little bit helps.
I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure just a second ago Ben called us old.
Well, I know you are.
Dead accurate.
I can't help it that you was born last Tuesday, all right? So
I think that learning skill sets, that's been, it's not only helpful, if things go awry, or even if you're struggling financially, that's something that I didn't mention in my little intro. Is I also went from making a very good living to not even making enough to pay my bills overnight, and didn't know what to do or how to handle it. Fortunately, I had friends. I made friends around that same time that were willing to take time out of their lives to teach me, like Jnull and the canning, and not only canning. You taught me how to. I'd never butchered a rabbit. I'd never plucked a chicken. If I was starving to death tomorrow, I'm sure I'd have figured it out, but it wouldn't have come. It wouldn't have come easy, But now I know how to do those things. Learning that I can't say the word learning enough.
Well, it's like Bubba already says, until you've done it, you don't know how to do it. Bubba would be the low bug prepper, by the way.
Who is lurking in here somewheres.
Yeah, I'm sure he's in the comment section. I'm trying to keep up with the comments, but I'm technologically challenged, which means I try to get stuff up and going.
Ben, reach outside and pick up a couple of rocks and see if Lowbuck's under there.
Yeah.
But no, in all seriousness, go ahead, John. We're just overlapping the tab.
I just wanted to, say this is what we're announcing. We're going to put this website out there, and we would like for people to check it out. And it's a work in progress. We're going to be adding to it as often as we can. But on our videos, or you feel free to send us private messages and stuff like that if you have suggestions or ideas.
I'm going to put out a special plea for that, because if y'all get a chance to go look at the website, you'll see how it's categorized. There's a lot of videos on there, and they're all categorized. You can go look at what you're interested in. If you have some ideas, stuff you'd like to see, let us know, and we'll try and hit that subject. We're all following our own paths, and we're not going to always think of everything. But I know we'll try. A little feedback would certainly be appreciated.
And just to be clear, it's on our own lifestyle.org.